Hey guys, Spartan D here, and we also have this, which I've been doing for a while. It's how I got to level 60. I basically had done my grinding without this. It was just for the last. I got 5 levels out of this, so I was like, actually 6 levels. I was mercenary level 52. What ended up happening was I did this, right. I had it set up for like 12 hours. What happened was that the game crashed, and when the game crashed, I came back in. It allowed me to go back to this, and I proceeded as if everything was good. But what ended up happening was, for whatever reason, my it reset my reward counter. Instead of 10, it went back to 1. And the only reason I mention this, and it's like, how do you know you didn't just, accidentally, not set it to 10 the first initial time? Well, I did it on stream, and everyone who was there at the time, the following day, I asked them, like, you guys remember? I set this to 10, right? And it was unanimous, like, yeah, you did. So I don't know what's up with that. There are some things that happen in this game that's like really weird. Like you could be in a fight or whatever, and then some type of error happens to where you're back at the lobby, the home screen, and then that screws up, but you're still fighting. So there's a few things that's kind of weird that happens. Here we need to check the formation real quick. Okay, that one's fine. Let's put you here. That's good. So basically what you want to do is, it's already set to auto, but I'm going to change. So just, you don't even have to go here really, but I set this one here just so they don't get aggroed. My team's more than strong enough to do so, but by the time you get to this, when it matters, because level 60 is the current cap. I don't know if that goes up or down in the future, but I set this team over here so they don't get aggroed by the infinite spawn here, because that's what we're doing. This is level 50 requirement of what it says like you should be. I don't think you need to be, so long as you have like a really solid team with a solid healer. Snowy is able to do it by herself if she's strong enough. Ren also solos this by herself. Tasha also solos this by herself, provided you have her mech and 5 stars. All of these in the sense of you have them at 5 stars. So what you want to do is, that one is just going to be set, and then you start it here. As you can see, it's aggroed already, right? You're gonna want to, oh, that one covered itself, so we just have to wait. But you want to clear all of these enemies with your first team should be your strongest team. This is the one that you set out. Just clear through this normally as you would. I don't have this set to auto. Normally you would just set this to auto and go do whatever that you want to do and just leave this running, but I'm doing it manually just to get through it sooner. Which, honestly, if I want to get through this sooner, I'll probably use Tasia just to get through it like a little bit faster, but it doesn't matter that much. You just going through here, clearing up all the enemies. And then once you clear up all the enemies, the location of the 2 teams will change. You're gonna set your first team, which I'll get there once we clear all these enemies. So I have to re-explain it so you guys can like see exactly what it is I'm talking about and go exactly where you need to go. I'm pretty much, this is like current in game as far as like, you know, strength of team. So I'm gonna breeze through this. It's definitely not gonna look the same, but the steps, the necessary steps, is what you're here for. So we're just mainly focusing on that. Just getting through this as soon as we can. Oh, Seki, I'm so sorry. I missed one of your questions earlier. How much crit does Tasia get? That's a good question. I'll show you after this. I think she gets that much crit. She gets some for sure. She definitely gets some in her skill. I have it set to 4 out of 5, I believe. No, 3 out of 5. She gets 25 or so crit chance, maybe 30. Again, we'll see after this. Not too much to this. It's just, you know, clearing the mobs, clearing the mobs, clearing the mobs. Your standard stuff is not really a reason to use the ultimate. It's just going to be slower than just simply killing them. But when you have it set to auto, you can when you have it set to auto, you can, you know, make sure whoever needs to use their ultimate is using it, and whoever doesn't, you know, is not using it, so it's faster. Here we go, just run through them like butter. Through here, pretty simple. Show you last one on the back. Here you go. Okay, that one's chasing us. Again, there's only a certain amount that you need to clear, but you know, you might as well be clearing all of them, because what you want is the experience, and you get experience for clearing every single one of these mobs. So okay, let's head through there. Alright, easily done. Let's see here. Yep. So I was trying to catch it, so that didn't happen. Trying to get to the other two, but it's gonna go in a loop, so you don't want to, you know, set this to auto and then like auto route, basically. Just make sure, you know, so that doesn't happen and you come back like, wow, they're still chasing it, and it's gonna slow down your progression and killing these mobs by a lot, and that's not what you want. You definitely want to get through this as soon as possible. You can get the experience that you need in far less time. So what we're going to do is stop it there, go that opposite direction, so we catch them, and then I'll show you where you set first team. Again, there's like there's a Reddit video on this already, but we'll just show you here. So you know, you can just head straight here to this video. You're already welcome. But just so you know, people know. This is like essentially like the fastest way that you can level up to 60. It's probably what I'll end up titling this video. Like, this is your fastest route to level 60. The infinite Evelynn stage. And because this will be like, you know, up, it's not going away. You're perfectly fine. I'm not going to clear this enemy here because I have no need for, you know, experience. But you who will need the experience will clear that because, you know, you should have a team that's strong enough to like deal with all of it in the first place. And if your team isn't strong enough right at the moment, what you're gonna want to do is, you know, check in. Like, say they're, you know, they're strong enough to do it for a while, but not strong enough to do it like infinitely, just because your box looks, you know, a bit differently. But everybody should have Esmeralda like maxed out pretty much at this current, you know, this particular stage, provided that you've done the eye event that is currently available. So we're gonna take this, move them there, and we're gonna take them and move them there as this is happening, because what's gonna happen is this team's gonna block off the entry there, and they will no longer be able to aggro the second team. So you'll be all good there. Your second team won't be any, you know, in any danger. And if you don't have like a strong second team, what you'll end up wanting to do is escorting your second team over to where they need to be, and then have your first team take out the rest and make sure that the infinite spawn is aggroing your first team. What's going on, Gata? So this is basically what you will have it set up as. This doesn't matter. You're gonna move this team over here, set it up there, and I'll show off what you can end up doing, which is, you know, pretty nice. Provided that it does work, of course. Because I've not tried this, but, and I also haven't looked at the video and how they, the Reddit video and how they set it up. I simply just know about this already because of my wonderful chat. So I haven't looked at the video. I don't know what it is exactly that they do. So this is set up here, right? Let's say you're done, you're ready to go, and you just over here. Now, what you're gonna do is stop it, right? You're gonna stop it here. The reason being is because this team is, you know, still going down. Now you move it because they're aggroed on you, but you want to go too far. And just because that mob stopped there does not mean that another one won't spawn. Another one will spawn. That they simply just stop there. They only chase you for so long. If they lose sight of you, then they no longer, you know, they no longer chase. They don't chase anyone. They're just stuck there until, you know, you kill them. So be aware of that as you're doing this. Okay, all done. Move through, and we do this, right? Now, what ends up happening is they aggro this team when you do that. So this is this is what you don't end up doing if your team's not strong enough. What you end up doing if that team's not strong enough is that you don't move them from that location whatsoever. You set that you set your first team at that one point until the infinite spawn does spawn, and then you wait for them to be tracked onto you. And at that point, you want to have it at times for speed so you can like absolutely catch it. I think ×2 is like safe enough to where you shouldn't miss it, but absolutely do not have it at 4x speed if your team's not strong enough. So as you can see here, right? They're still going to aggro onto this team because they're the closest. That no longer ends up becoming the case once you get to this point. Right? So I'm going to stop it here just to show. You see that? This one stopped. Now they aggro. And as you can see here, you're right on the barrier, right? You're directly on the barrier. You can leave it there now. And that team will no longer be aggroed. That second team will no longer be aggroed again. So in that event, like, oh man, oh no, my team's gonna end up dying. It doesn't matter anymore at that stage because you no longer need them to open up the barrier. But in the event that what just happened now happens to you, and it's like that was pretty close. And let's say you didn't set it like directly where it needs to go, right? Let's just say that. Then what you end up doing is taking this team and then moving them back over there. They do re-aggro. Okay. Once the second spawn dies, they re-aggro. So that's good to know. Okay. That's important. So again, like, this isn't something that you would like a method that you would just normally do, because if your first team is strong enough in the first place, you don't even have to move it. But that's just showing off like alternate ways that you can do this. It's not a safer way, especially if your second team isn't strong enough. So if they're not strong enough, don't do that. Just do the safer method. I was just gonna let that shockwave destroy them if they didn't. But so if you set this up correctly, what you can do is just see, it stopped you at first because the game was like, wait, you shouldn't be going through here, but you're like already like set right there, so it can't stop you. And they're still going to chase you. Like once that team is out of range, which is why I say you should set them over there, they'll still chase. And I believe what you can end up doing once you get them past the barrier, right? You might not even have to set it right there, but if you're just going to go away from it and your team's strong enough to where you don't have to babysit them, you're going to want to set it there anyway. Like if you're like nearing the end. But like the fastest method, no matter what, like again, this is just like this is just something to show off. This isn't something that you would actually do. The fastest method, again, I already showed it off. You just sit that one team directly on the spawn and you do not move it. You don't even move that second team once they are set to like open the barrier. And then you just move the team once you're finally done to where they need to go, but make sure that, the infinite spawn is attached to you beforehand, so they don't aggro your second thing, which would be over here. Now you can move back here, and because of the radius, like you can just go back again. Like let's say it's like, oh no, I didn't mean to, for whatever reason you didn't mean to do that, and you still want to be able to, do the infinite without you know, having a restart, because that would suck. You're like 5 hours in, and then for whatever reason you touched something, you were curious, and then you messed it up or something like that. And like, you know, in the worst case scenario, your second team is dead and you're past the barrier, you know, not behind the barrier, because at that point then you would have to start over. But if this team is past the barrier and you're like, oh no, I didn't mean to, I messed it up. Oh no, Frost, this is just a failsafe. This is like, I already explained it, right? I already explained, like, you should always be sitting their first team here and your second team should be here and never move. And then when you want to move this, you set it here until this spawn comes back, and it shouldn't be at 4 times speed, so then you can control it. And by that time you will have it, you know, moved over here and then capture when you're done. But this was basically me explaining, for whatever reason you were like near the done, you're nearly done. For whatever reason you got curious. It's like, oh, can I play around with this? So I set the team to right here, right on the barrier, and I move this team away to show, like, if you do that and you move the team here, then it's still fine, right? And then in the scenario, like a weird scenario where you're like, oh no, I wasn't done, but the you know, your team's over, the second team is over here now, and they're no longer on here, and this team is like too weak to then be aggroed, and you can't move this team anymore. This spawn still comes over here because it's aggro on you. You're the closest. This team is the closest. This one is too far away. It's never going to aggro. And then you can just come back here and still, you know, continue to do the infinite. That's all. But, you know, once you're done, that doesn't matter. And then you can just finish. That's all. That's basically it. That's basically what I was showing off. I already showed off, like, the first method. Again, I'm max level, so like this doesn't matter. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And these rewards, the only thing that like goes up is the gold. I don't believe these. It's just like set. You just get a set amount. Because I did this for a while and these numbers didn't really like increase like that. I could be wrong in what I'm saying, but this is only ×2 rewards, right? The gold will increase as many times as you defeat enemies. The same with your experience until you hit 60. So there you guys go. That's pretty much how you do the Evelynn Infinite. In the, you know, in that weird scenario where you messed up, I you know, you already see the ways that you can get out of it, but you really shouldn't be touching it whatsoever. Once you have done it the first initial way that I showed, just leave it be. And you know, you only touch it once you're finally done. But yeah, there you guys go. That's how you do it. There's already a video out, but you know, there was a request to basically, you know, cover just about everything, so this is one of those things that's pretty important to, you know, moving your account to where it needs to be in the level cap at 60 once you're finally able to, you know, do this consistently. So there you guys go. That's the fastest way to get to level 60. Hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, feedback, comments. Let me know what videos you'd like to see next. And if you didn't like the video, that's perfectly fine as well. But I'll leave you guys with that and see you in the next video.